Good morning, everybody. I am so excited to be here this morning to talk to you about all the new features that we're bringing to market with respect to Microsoft Information Protection. My name is Tony Themelis. I work in the Microsoft Information Protection group. I'm a product manager, and I develop features that help you detect, classify, label, and protect your sensitive information across all of the Microsoft estates, so across services, Exchange, SharePoint, OneDrive, across applications and devices.
And I'm Mike Pear. I'm from the Office application team, working on integrating all of this great Microsoft Information Protection stuff into the suite of applications, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, across platforms. And I just want to thank everyone for getting up early and joining us for 9 a.m., the first session of the day. Thank you all. Tony, take it away.
Thank you. So I'm going to do a quick introduction to Microsoft Information Protection. And in case you guys haven't heard it, data is exploding. It's everywhere. It's on your devices. It's on premises. It's in the cloud. How do you possibly think about protecting that data? In addition to that, regulations are becoming more and more strict. They're becoming more and more complicated. And how do you make sure that you know what your data is so that you can comply with the regulations that are out there? So we all ask ourselves the basic questions, and these are questions that you as our customers ask us. Where is my sensitive data? How do I find it? How do I control it? How do I know where it is, where it's traveling? And what kind of solutions can you provide in order to help me do that? So what we do is we help you know your data, so find where it is, protect your data using labels, and I'll talk to you in a moment about what labels are, and govern your data using data loss prevention, governance, retention, and other kinds of policies. So this is what we do. And the first point that I wanted to make is that this journey, and we had a presentation on that yesterday afternoon, is something that you can't do on your own. There's a lot of people involved in your company, right? There's a governance committee that has to determine policies and procedures. There's a compliance officer that needs to understand those regulations and basically interpret what they mean for your organization. There is a data admin who has to write a policy to classify sensitive information, and they have to get it right? You can't afford to implement a wrong policy because a wrong policy might end up limiting access to files from users. So the data owner is your business owner. You're in your business unit. The business owner wants to have their data secure, but they don't want you to mess with their business process, right? They want it to be seamless. They want it to be integrated. They want it to be almost invisible. Help desk needs to deal with questions from information workers. Information workers need to understand the policy. So underlying that, what we do is we help you define the classification scheme, and I'm going to go into a demo to show you how to do that. We help you determine your classification policy, which means what are the conditions that you're going to use to find sensitive information. We help you create, test, and deploy that policy, and then perform ongoing monitoring. So the hero in our story is a label. A label is an identifying stamp that goes onto documents that tells the system and the user whether the document is sensitive or not. These labels are customizable. You can define their structure, their schema, their hierarchy. You can define in terms of whether there's some protection that goes with the labels or not. Those labels are readable by other systems. So for example, if you have third-party DLP solutions or other kinds of solutions, they can read those labels. In fact, we have an SDK that allows third-party solutions to actually apply or remove those labels. You can think of one really important thing is the notion of a label applied to a document versus a label applied to a container. And I will show you in the label creation flow how we have a new feature now that you can actually apply a label to a SharePoint site or a Teams channel. And that basically allows you to determine the characteristics of that site. Do you want to share? Do you want to allow external sharing? Do you want to make it private or public? There's two kinds of labels, and Mike and I are going to talk to you about, Mike's going to talk to you about the manual labeling. I'm going to focus on the automatic labeling. And the manual labeling is something that we now have ubiquitous everywhere across our environment. Automatic labeling is something that's brand new, and I'm super excited to show you more about that. All right, so let's go into the demo. So what you'll see over here is the Security and Compliance Center. And in the Compliance Center, in the Security and Compliance Center, we have a solutions catalog that shows you all of our solutions. And I'm going to go into the information protection solution. In the information protection solution, the first thing that I can do is I can look at and create labels for my organization. Remember I said that the label schema is a very important part of your governance. It determines the set of labels that are going to be visible to users and that are going to be able to be applied either manually or automatically. At Microsoft, we have a very simple label scheme. The most critical, sensitive data is labeled as highly confidential. The next one down is confidential. Then we have general and non-business. So we really only have a very small handful of labels, and our recommendation is keep it simple. Make sure you don't have a lot of labels, because a lot of labels become very difficult to manage and to consume. So basically what I can do is I can create a label. In this case, I'm just going to show you the creation process for a label that I've already created. So you give it a name and a display name, and you give it a description. And in this case, the description is something that tells the user in terms of the tooltip, and also tells the admin, reminds them what it is about that label that's important. The next thing that you can do is you can assign an encryption template to those labels. So in this case, what that means is that anytime this label is applied, automatically an encryption template, a rights management template is going to be applied to that label. And down at the bottom, you can grant permissions to users and groups. So for example, we have a set of labels that are for Microsoft FTE only. So what that means is that when you apply that label to a file, we know that it's contained within the Microsoft organization, and if it ends up leaking and going anywhere outside, somebody that doesn't have Microsoft credentials cannot open that document. Next thing you can do is you can set content marking. So this is either the header, the footer, or a watermark. And that's up to you to define how you want to make the sensitivity visible to end users. Next thing is you can do is you can define endpoint data loss prevention. This basically means that if a file is labeled with the label that you've created here, there are a set of endpoint policies that are going to apply to those files. This is the new site and group settings that I was talking to you about. So here what's really cool you can do is you can define when you apply this label to like a SharePoint site, you can automatically make the site private or public, and you can allow or not allow people outside the organization to be added. And the last thing you can do is you can link it to device management, so that, for example, when devices are not managed by the organization, you can either block access or not.
And if I could just jump in for a second, something that's existed for a while in SharePoint is the ability to label a site with a word like confidential. But that was just a word, and it didn't really have much teeth behind it to actually enforce any policy or give you any additional protection. So now this is all about, now that word is a label, and that label has teeth, and it can enforce these policies. So we're excited about that.
All right, so the next one is and this has existed for a while, auto-labeling for Office apps. So basically here what you can do is you can set a bunch of conditions where if they are found in a document, the content is found in a document, then that document will be automatically labeled. It covers Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. In this case, I have an example PHI set of conditions. For example, I've got a complex condition here that looks for sensitive types, specifically US names, in combination with some identifying information, either an address or a date, together with more identifying information in terms of PII, like credit card or social security number. And finally, I'm looking for ICD 9 and 10 codes, which identify a standard set of medical terms. The last thing that I can do here is I can choose whether the label should be recommended or automatically applied. If it's recommended, Mike is going to show you in a short while how a policy tip is shown in the app, and the user can choose whether to apply the label or not. And then there's a message that you can configure that's displayed to the user. Finally, you can review your settings and finish up. So what we've done over here in summary, we've created the label hierarchy, and we've applied auto-labeling conditions for Office apps. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to decide who gets the label policy. This configuration over here allows you to decide inside of your organization which group of people are going to see the label policy. So in this case, you choose which labels you want to auto-apply, and you choose the users or groups that you want to apply the label to. For example, in Microsoft, our senior leadership team has a set of labels that only they see, that only they can apply, and that have restrictions that only they can access. That's a very important part of what we do. You can actually create the label for a specific subgroup in your organization. They will be the ones that can see. If the file goes outside of that group and somebody else tries to access it, they will see the label, but they would see that the file is labeled, but they can't actually open the file. All right, next thing we're going to do. So this is the most important part from my perspective, and this is a new auto-labeling flow. The auto-labeling flow applies to your service, SharePoint, OneDrive, and Exchange coming soon. One thing that I wanted to mention is at the end of the presentation, we have a QR code. We will be announcing a preview of this, and if any of you are interested in joining us, we would love to consider you to participate in this new feature. So what does this mean? This means that you are now able to automatically scan all of your sites in SharePoint, or a subset of your sites, whatever you choose, your users' OneDrive accounts, and you can apply the same policy. So let me pick the first one and show you how that works. So here it is. I'm going to edit it just to walk you through the flow. So I'm back in the highly confidential. It's the same algorithm that I used on the client side, except here I'm automatically applying it. So I can choose the locations. So for example, if I go to SharePoint, in my demo environment, I have 2 sites that I've chosen to scan automatically. I'm able to pick any number of sites. And one of the things that we recommend in this is that you start small with a few sites and then slowly expand it over time. And one of the really exciting things inside of the private preview that we're doing is we're introducing a simulation or test mode that's going to allow you to actually apply a label policy to sites in a test run only. It'll return to you how many files were matched. You can analyze it, see if the policy is correct, make sure you don't have false positives. If you do, you can adjust the policy and go back until you got it right, and then you can be confident in your deployment of that policy. So here you create the rules. This is exactly the same rule that I showed you before. It's the health information example. It has the same set of complex types. And I'm just going to cancel out of here because I already showed you what that is. In my case, I also have another rule in place. In this case, for example, I have a set of top secret project names. And whenever I find that name in a file, I also want to classify those files as highly confidential. So what that means is you can have multiple criteria, multiple different rules that all map to the same label. And you can set those conditions, and the scanner, when it finds those documents, will automatically apply them. Same exactly procedure for OneDrive accounts. In this case, I choose the label that I want to apply. This is my child label inside of the highly confidential parent, and you can finish. And once you finish, what happens is the scanner gets triggered. It's a time-based scanner, so it runs every 24 hours. So inside of 24 hours, you will start seeing the first results. And I'm really excited to show you what those results look like inside of the data classification pane. Inside of the data classification pane, what you'll see our ability to show you all the files that were classified. Those files, you'll see them with respect to the sensitive information types that were found, the labels that were found, and the activity around those labels. How many files were labeled? How many were unlabeled? How many labels were upgraded or downgraded? And this is really important because you're no longer blind to your classification and labeling policy. You can test it, you can try it out, you can view the results and make sure that they're all correct. And with that, I am going to hand back over to Mike.
Cool, thanks, Tony. All right, so like I mentioned at the top of the hour here, I'm from the Office Apps team, and so my focus for this set of demos is on the integration of sensitivity labeling, the ability for you and your users to apply sensitivity labels to your content right in the Office Apps built in without the need for additional add-ins or any sort of add-ons. So if I go back in time to January, we released the first set of built-in manual labeling capabilities in the Office apps. So last Ignite, I was on stage and I showed demos of Mac, iOS, Android, Word, Excel, PowerPoint apps having sensitivity labels built in, and Outlook on Mac as well. On Windows, we didn't have anything built in at the time, but we do have the Azure Information Protection add-in for Office, the client, which you could use for sensitivity labeling in Windows. But we had some notable gaps that we heard from many customers like yourselves that we need more prevalence of this feature built into more places, particularly Outlook Mobile, built into Windows for those who don't have Azure Information Protection, and also built into the web apps. And you can see I have updated the Edge icon to the fancy new shiny Edge icon right before this presentation. Go me. All right, so this was the state last year, back in January. And here's what it looked like. In Mac, we had the sensitivity button built in there. That's there in production, has been since January. Same thing in Excel on the Mac, same thing in PowerPoint on the Mac, and also in Outlook Mac. Also on the mobile apps, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, we have the sensitivity feature built in there as well. But now I am super excited to share how this Ignite, we have now completed the table, and now everything on all of these apps, we have sensitivity labels built right in. So what that means, the new things we're very excited about. Outlook Mobile, you have sensitivity labelings. I'll show you the demo. On Windows Office apps, in Office 365 Pro Plus, we have that built in. So you have your option now of using our built-in feature, or you can continue using Azure Information Protection add-in if you already use that. So you have your choice. And I can speak about some of the differences and what kind of choices you might need to make there, but you have options now, and that is up to you of what you would like to use. And then in the web, we now have a preview in Word, Excel, PowerPoint of having the ability to apply labels built right into the Word, Excel, PowerPoint on the web apps and Outlook on the web as well. So let's get right into the demos. I'll start with manual labeling. And I have my fancy video. There we go. So in Office 365 Pro Plus being the subscription app here, this is the built-in version. So here I'm not running Azure Information Protection add-in. I'm just doing it right there built into the apps. Same thing in Outlook on the Windows platform, as you would expect. And here's the first look at Office on the web. Same sort of experience. You have the sensitivity button. I can apply a label. And at the bottom of the screen in the status bar, you see that that is now top secret. Same thing in Excel on the web, top secret document, and PowerPoint on the web as well. Now, in order to use this, you need to enable sensitivity labeling in SharePoint and OneDrive, which is currently in preview. And we'll have links at the end of the talk here about how you can opt into that feature in SharePoint and OneDrive. But this depends on that opt-in to start seeing sensitivity labeling in your Word, Excel, PowerPoint on the web apps. And here in OA, Outlook on the web, this is now built in, and that's generally available as well. So if you have sensitivity labels configured in the Microsoft 365 compliance portal, you will just start seeing the sensitivity button there in Outlook on the web. And here's Outlook Mobile, which I'm particularly excited about since I use that on my phone. Here you can apply labels directly in the experience. And this is really cool because before we didn't have any sort of ability for a user to apply any kind of protection in the Outlook mobile app itself. You had to rely on Exchange transport rules and so forth to do that kind of stuff. And now we have sensitivity built right in. So your users can choose top secret or whatever label you need to apply to an email. And that gets applied to the message right there in Outlook Mobile and sent along. And the same kind of experience you'd expect if I'm downgrading a label. This is just me showing that I'm replying to a mail and I'm changing the label to something less sensitive. And it asks me for justification because that's what my administrator has defined for me. And this is a really nice experience. You can see right next to the subject line, it tells you what the label is. And there's even a nice threaded experience there too, where if the label changes as you are responding to messages, it tells you who made the change and how it changed. So you can see over time, a mail might become less sensitive. Maybe there's a product release where there's a confidential product, and now it's public. So somebody changes the sensitivity label. You see that right in line when that happened for each response, which is very cool. All right, so those are the new things in manual labeling, but there is more. So in preview today, we're also excited to announce that we have the ability now to open, edit, and co-author labeled and protected documents on the web. And so before, you have probably seen this experience, where if you have a protected document that you have uploaded into SharePoint or OneDrive, and you try to open that in Office Online, you would see an experience like this. You click on the document, it opens in the web, you wait, and then you get this error message. You've probably seen this before if you use protection on documents, and it would just kick you out into the rich client applications to open those protected documents. But now, with the SharePoint and OneDrive preview of labeling built in, not only can you open these top secret or protected documents, you can edit them, and you can co-author with them with other co-authors in the web. So for all of your users who are using the web apps, you can co-author on those together, and it works just like any other document. So this is huge for us for productivity. We don't want to have to make you choose between security and productivity. So this is the first step of our journey of bringing both protection and collaboration together in a way that's just more seamless for your users. Thank you. And so this is just me proving that what I'm describing is real. That was that working in Word. Here's it working in Excel and in PowerPoint as well. You have all the real-time indicators, everything that you've come to expect from the Office 365 suite of applications. This is just with confidential content that has protection on it. There's a question, does that mean that works in Teams as well? So Teams is basically a viewer of the Office web apps. And so anything that you see in the Office web apps here with the sensitivity button, et cetera, that works in Teams as well if you're opening up that content within Teams. All right, and then now for the most exciting thing for me is about the automatic and recommended sensitivity labeling functionality that's built into the client applications. So it's an important nuance here. Tony showed the admin experience for turning on automatic or recommended sensitivity labels for Office clients. And then there's a separate experience for turning that on for your services, for data at rest or in transit. So this is all what happens when you turn it on for Office clients. So here I've created a rule that detects sensitive content based on the conditions I've applied. And here is what happens in the Office web apps. So I've pasted in this content, and pretty quickly afterwards, the scan happens. It determines that the file should be confidential and gives me that recommendation. I've taken the recommendation. I can see that got applied to the content. And that happened pretty quickly there because it's just happening in the background as I type or as I paste in content. So check this out in PowerPoint Online. I'm just typing Social Security numbers, and boom, I get that recommendation as I'm typing, which is really cool. And so I've taken that recommendation, applied top secret. It puts in their content marking. It applies the protection, and off we go. And here, same thing in Excel. It's not just when I'm editing, it's also when I open content. So I've opened content with sensitive terms, and it gave me that detection. But it's not just Word, Excel, PowerPoint. It's also Outlook on the web, same deal. The same rules, same conditions apply here, and I got that recommendation right in Outlook on the web and applied that label. Now, Office 365 Pro Plus apps on Windows, same experience. I've pasted in my Social Security numbers, and I get that same sort of policy tip. And here you'll see that that message to the admin has been configured that Tony showed in the admin experience, and that shows up right there in the bar, which is a great way to educate your users about the reason that these things are happening. But the single thing that I am most excited about is in Word on Win32, on the Office apps. So we don't just stop at the policy tip in Word on Windows, but we also show you an experience that highlights the sensitive terms that were detected right in the canvas. Think of it like spelling or grammar. And if you click that Show Sensitive Content button, it pops up a pane that gives you a list of the sensitive content detected, which is especially useful for long documents where maybe you don't know where the sensitive content is, gives you a list, and you can page through it just like you can with spelling and grammar errors. So this, you can also right-click and remove content like I just showed there, and I can apply the label. And once I've applied the label, all that content is allowed to be in that document because I've now classified it as a top secret document. So those critiques and those highlights go away after I've taken the action that the admin has recommended for me. So this is really, really cool, right off the presses in Word to start in the Windows apps. And we'll look forward to building this kind of an experience into more apps on more platforms going forward. All right, so resources. I would really like for you to take away these two links. They link to each other, so even if you just get the first one, you're good. But the first one here, this admin-focused documentation and feature roadmap, this is really useful because being a subscription product where we iterate and we have releases every month, if you're on monthly channel for Windows, we are constantly adding new features and rolling out updates that have more and more sensitivity labeling functionality built in. And so this page gives you the full rundown of across different platforms, across different apps, what versions of Office have which features. So this will show you which versions of Office have the sensitivity button, which have the automatic and recommended feature built in, and on and on. We have more to build. There are more features that are not yet supported built into the Office apps. So it's important for you when you're considering whether to which features to turn on in your administrator policy to check and see whether you're running a version of Office that supports those features. And so this shows you for Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and also for the different Outlook apps. And then there's the user-facing documentation as well that gives you all the nice screenshots about how it works and how to use it. And so what I just showed you here is just scratching the surface. You've probably noticed that at Ignite this week, there are tons of sessions and theater sessions and learning opportunities around sensitivity labeling across the Microsoft portfolio of products and beyond in the third parties. I just focused on the Office apps built in today, but there's so much more. There's solutions for on-premise data. There's stuff in SharePoint, Teams, Groups. Power BI is being announced this week. Exchange Online, like Tony mentioned. And then there's also ways to protect your data with sensitivity labels in third-party clouds and more using things like Microsoft Cloud Application Security. So there's all sorts of sessions this week where you can dive deeper into each of those aspects. And so long as you have your labels set up in the M365 Compliance Center as unified labels. So the call to action here from me is, one, you got to set up your unified labels. So what that means really is some of you might already have Azure Information Protection and have labels set up in Azure Portal. In order to use all this nice built-in stuff, not just in Office, but also in SharePoint and Exchange and just about everywhere else that we're showing you this week at Ignite, those labels need to be set up as what we call unified labels, meaning that you see them in the M365 Compliance Center, and that makes them available to all of these solutions. So set those up there, come up with your label taxonomy, get them in the system, and you can start testing them out right there in your Office applications and beyond. Then make sure you get current with your Office 365 applications. All of this stuff is pretty cutting edge in the Windows apps for Office. And we know that there are customers out there still on Office 2016 or any sort of perpetual builds of Office. All of this stuff is reserved for the subscription version of Office and Pro Plus. So if you want this stuff built in, use Pro Plus and get current so you can start reaping the benefits of all these iterative improvements we're making over time. And start labeling your documents and emails. Don't delay. As soon as you have your label taxonomy set up and created, just start labeling your content. Even as you add additional policy and rules and encryption and things like this, you can do that kind of thing later. You can just start labeling now because there's no impact to just applying labels to your documents if they're just labels. And then you can figure out what kind of policy you want to add to that later when you've thought more about that. And then try out automatic and recommended sensitivity labeling built into the Office apps and also in preview for SharePoint and Exchange. Really excited about that functionality. And like I mentioned before, in order to use sensitivity labeling built into the Office on the web apps in SharePoint and so forth, you need to enable the sensitivity labeling functionality in SharePoint. And I'll show you, there'll be a QR code for doing that. And I mentioned all these sessions. These are the breakout sessions that are all focused on the sensitivity labeling stuff. Let's see, where are we? We're Wednesday at 9 a.m., so there's still plenty of sessions to go to. And of course, there are recordings if you want to learn more. And there are theater sessions as well in the expo hall. And if you miss any of these and you just have questions or want to learn more, come find us at the information protection booth in the expo hall, and we'll be happy to answer your questions. I'm just doing a time check. And we actually do have some time for questions here. So if anyone has questions, please do feel free to come up to the microphones. I have been instructed to tell you to speak very closely into the microphone, invade its personal space a little bit, and we'll be happy to answer your questions. And if not, we will see you at the booth. Thank you. All right, question.
Thank you. On PDF and pictures, on the automatic labeling, does that work, doesn't work? Any plans for it? Not.
Yeah, for the questions about pictures, images in documents and emails, whether we can scan those and automatically. Today, no. Right now, it's the text content in your document and email that we can classify and automatically label. We're looking forward in the future for enhancements like maybe using OCR for images, but that doesn't exist yet. PDF documents. Do you know anything about that? Go ahead.
Yes, so for PDF documents, we are able to scan them. We can actually, on the automatic side of things, we support 64 different file types, so text files and all of that. Of course, what you got to remember is that labeling doesn't apply to all of them because a lot of file types don't support the document property framework in which you can apply a label. But obviously PDF does. PDFs will be scanned, and you will be able to see the sensitive content in a data at rest report, as with text documents and any other of those 64 document types that we do support today.
All right, and we'll go over here.
Hello?
Just a quick question on the M365 Security Compliance Center. There's two different sections right now between information protection and DLP. Is there a strategy to possibly merge those two together to reduce complexity and issues going forward with labeling practices?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the question was, there's two different sections in the Security and Compliance Center. And when we talk about data classification, you'll actually notice that it's elevated to a first-class citizen. In other words, we're considering it as a common control, the output of which will be used by various solutions. For example, DLP and information governance and other solutions over there. So what that means is your job to be done when you're trying to automatically classify is to figure out your right algorithm so that you can get it right. We're keeping that as a global, like a horizontal feature that can be used in many different solutions. And then when you get into DLP, what you'll be able to do is say block sharing or control upload or download or copy to USB. And one of the triggers for that might be, was the file classified? Was it labeled using the label that you created? The point is very well understood. Right now, they're kind of commingled, but we are going to separate those out so that it's a cleaner workload.
Thank you.
Okay, over here.
Questions here. One is, can policies be applied to dynamically created groups in Azure AD, or is this just Office 365 groups, for example? Can you apply labeling policy? Or
Yeah, so about which groups can you scope label policies to, like what kinds of groups and entities? Yeah, do you have the answer? I think it's distribution groups, security groups, Office 365 groups. Is there another one you were asking about?
it's just, I guess dynamic groups, but that's security groups.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, on the reporting, is that an E5
Yes.
feature, or is that
Yes,
also?
the report, yes, it's an E5 feature.
Which one specifically?
The Content and Activity Explorer?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's E5?
yeah.
All right.
I believe so.
I learned something today.
Okay, we got it right, yeah.
All right.
Are there any plans to allow the label attached to an email to flow down to the attachments so that the user does not have to go into a document, label it, go to the email, and label it? For example, if they're sending an attachment to an external user and they only want that external user to be able to see, open the document?
Yeah, that's a good question. That doesn't exist today in the built-in stack. That's certainly on our list, and we understand it to be very important. We're interested to hear feedback on that because we talk to some customers who tell us we want it to inherit from this direction to that direction. Others say this direction to that direction. So we're thinking about it in a way where we probably just need to make that configurable and build that in. So that's on our list. We don't have any sort of date yet, but certainly we'll get to that.
Thank you.
Yep.
Are those sensitivity labels available to third-party tools if I want to classify with something else?
Yeah, so there's anything that's configured in this unified platform is exposed to our first-party apps at Microsoft and also to third-party apps via what we call the Microsoft Information Protection SDK. So there are some third-party app partners that are already integrating the SDK and allow for labeling and understanding labels as well. Do you have anything more to share on that one?
No,
Yeah.
nothing more than when you label and protect a file, the actual label itself is part of the metadata of the file, so it's actually not protected. So you can read that at the mail transport layer without requiring to go deeper. You can, of course, go deeper if you've got a third-party tool that needs to decrypt the file look at the contents and then re-encrypt it, that is possible as well using the SDK that Mike mentioned.
Yeah, and so there are solutions, like I know Adobe has some integration using the SDK, and then there are also some DLP and firewall vendors that are also enlightening themselves with the SDK to understand the label and take action, in whatever the workload is. So there are folks that know more about that than we do at the information protection booth that can give you the full scope of what has integration today and what's coming.
Yeah, so for example, one of the really nice ones is AutoCAD, right? There's a partner of ours that has integrated a toolbar into AutoCAD that allows users to label and protect using the infrastructure that we've just been talking about.
Cool. All right.
I have a question about retention labels. Are you going to link the sensitivity labels to retention labels at some point? So we can do it manually now using the metadata in the documents.
Yes.
To auto-label, but
Yes.
it'd be really helpful if we could apply a retention label when a user applies a sensitivity label.
Yes, that's actually a great question. The answer right now is they're remaining separate, but it's definitely something that we want to investigate. And the scope in which we want to investigate this is what we call like multi-tagging. So essentially right now we have the ability to put a single label on a file. The characteristics of a sensitivity label is that they're visible to the end user. You can click on the button. The characteristics of a retention label are that they're not, right? They're behind the scenes and they're typically used for, data governance retention requirements. As we think more about multi-tagging, one of the aspects might be that the two are linked together, and that's something that we're definitely looking to consider, but it isn't there now.
Thanks.
So when you apply the sensitivity label to the container, to a SharePoint site, does that mean it's going to trickle down to any files in that SharePoint site that's going to also classify that?
That's a good question. As of now, no. Right now, a sensitivity label placed on a container just impacts the characteristics of that container and doesn't get inherited down to documents within that container. That said, there are different kinds of automation flow that you can configure that say, if a container is confidential, but you have a document that's highly confidential already, and that lands in the confidential container, then you can have that kickoff workflow and automate process around that if you want to disallow that or whatever. But right now, there's no native built-in kind of inheritance to the content within a container.
It's kind of like the story about an attachment in an email, right? It's which way do you want it to inherit? Do you want, like, for example, if you have a highly confidential container and a file is confidential, when you upload it, should it be upgraded or not? But to your point, it's something that we are considering, like the whole inheritance model. And just like with emails, one of the things would be to make it configurable so that you can choose what you want to do, especially on the download of files.
Well, is that going to be a setting in SharePoint Online that I can go and configure, or?
I think that's TBD at this point. We're still we're wrapping our heads around how to tackle that, but yeah, we'll be sure to blog about that. And
Sure. One last question. Like earlier, you mentioned you're going to share that the QR code to enroll in the preview.
Yeah, I tried to click through to that and it didn't let me. Let me see if here we go. Yeah, sorry about that. Let's see. So this is all about if you're an Azure Information Protection customer and you want to migrate over to this unified labeling world, this is the QR code for doing that. I'll let the cameras, I'll switch it when the cameras go down. All right, okay, I'm going to switch over now. And here's the QR code for auto classification in SharePoint and OneDrive, getting that enabled in a preview with test mode. And other than that, the links I provided earlier in the talk have pointers to the different places where you can go enable anything else.
Hi, I saw a session yesterday on Visio and integration into Excel, and it sparked a question about what if you have a protected document that is Excel, and that integration, builds a Visio diagram. What happens with that if that's a protected document? Does that protection flow over?
I don't know. I'd have to check on that. I'm not sure.
What's the experience if you have a mix between E3 and E5 customers with the auto sensitivity labeling?
Yeah, so basically the way it's hooked up is in the Office. Are you asking about the Office apps built in? So it basically does a per user license check. And so for the users that have E3 licenses assigned, they have the sensitivity button. They can manually label. They can see the label, apply protection, all that stuff. But they won't have the policy tips pop up for automatic and recommended labeling. Only those with E5 licenses would.
And then so if people are collaboratively working online and one of them is E5 and E3, what happens when the E3 guy types in a social security number?
Yeah, good question. So that's something that we're working on, of having in real-time co-authoring, have changes from one user, then go kick in to get scanned for the other user. Right now, it's kind of a mixed bag between different apps. So in some apps, you might end up having that label get recommended on the E5 user's machine if that E3 user entered it in another session, and in some apps you won't. In our public documentation, we have some split explaining how that works. And I'm just time check. Are we okay to answer a few more questions? I see a good crowd outside. Yes? Okay. I think we have maybe a minute. All right.
So my question's related to the AIP migration that you had up on the earlier
Yep.
slide. So for people that are stuck on AIP waiting for critical functionality in the unified labeling environment, I understand that there's a one-time sync to get to run both environments concurrently.
Yes.
Is there any plan to help those customers with bi-directional synchronization or?
Yeah, Enrique can talk to you about that. All right, I think we need to wrap up. We'll hang out a little after if you want to ask us some questions, but thanks all for the great questions and for listening. Thank you.
Thank you.